Leon, thanks for joining today. What an incredible year for the new space economy. Can you walk us through some of your highlights?
Absolutely. Good to see you, Phil. Thank you. It's been a really exciting year, 2021, for space. And I'd like to highlight a few things that may not have been obvious to everybody. First of all, it's been a big year for space tourism. So we've seen Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin both send first tourists into suborbital flight, experiencing zero gravity. And there's much more to come, certainly in next year and in the coming years. There's going to be a consistent, I believe, rise and development of space tourism. In addition to that, NASA, for example, has just issued a contract, an award to 3 companies to develop what is called the commercial LEO development program, lower Earth orbit development program. 3 companies were selected, namely Blue Origin, NanoRacks, and Northrop Grumman were selected to build the next generation of commercial space stations. And that comes on top of the fact that NASA also awarded 2 years ago Axiom Space to do the same. So we have 4 contenders right now, fully funded in this initial phase to develop the future commercial space stations to replace the International Space Station. In addition to that, NASA has been fully executing on the commercial crew and the commercial payload and the commercial crew program to supply the International Space Station with private companies going to the space station, including Boeing and SpaceX. That's really gained additional momentum. There have also been some really significant launches this year. For example, NASA launched the mission called LCRD, which is the commercial relay demonstrations, the laser communication relay demonstration mission. So basically, optical communication is on the rise. NASA just launched a mission to geostationary orbit to demonstrate optical communication from geostationary to Earth, but also NASA is about to launch, as I go into the next year in a minute, a mission to the asteroid where optical communication will be demonstrated from the asteroid belt. So we've demonstrated optical communication from the moon. Now we're going to geo, asteroid. So optical communications in the coming years will become more mainstream, even amongst commercial satellites like Starlink and many others. Another important aspect is that NASA launched 2 missions this year to an asteroid. So there's the DART mission, which is a demonstrator of planetary defense, how we can deflect an asteroid and protect planet Earth from dangerous near-Earth objects. And then Lucy, another mission, a science mission to an asteroid, is going to image and do science at an asteroid, which is part of the Jupiter, what is called the Trojan asteroid at Jupiter. Those are all really fascinating new developments. And then to top all that, in this year, the year is not over. At the end of this year, NASA plans to launch the James Webb Space Telescope, which is just a huge mission, the next grand observatory in space that will image the beginning of time, which is looking back across the universe, looking to image distant galaxies and way back to the beginning of history of space.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's so much excitement around the industry. And I guess when you look back, we've accomplished a lot and done a lot this year. What should people, investors, fans, what should they be looking for in 2022? What will you be looking for?
Very good. There are a number of things happening in 2022 that are very exciting and that we should all look out for. First of all, Axiom Space is partnered with NASA to send its first private astronauts to the space station. They're the Axiom 1 astronauts, 4 of them going and spending time on the International Space Station as a training ground before Axiom actually builds its own private space station. So that's the beginning of this transition from the government-funded International Space Station to a privately funded 4 at least that are currently in contention for that. But Axiom is actually launching its first astronaut corps in early New Year to the International Space Station. Picking up on the asteroid part, NASA is going to launch a mission called Psyche, which is going to the main asteroid belt. Psyche is a iron core only asteroid stripped of its core crust and mantle. This is not only a scientifically exciting mission, but for the future industry that will mine resources outside Earth to bring asteroids full of minerals, iron, and other precious metals potentially back to Earth. So Psyche mission is really going to stimulate that whole mining industry in space. And Psyche, as I mentioned earlier, is going to demonstrate deep space optical communication from the asteroid belt. Another thing to keep track of is there are more missions now next year going into Earth science, just observing planet Earth as a system, including ocean, sea level heights, and many other factors, looking at disaster management, tornado and hurricane watch, and so on. This is important for the rise of the field of investment in climate change monitoring. Climate change monitoring, I believe, is going to be a big area for investors to look out for. And it's not just going into space, we're also keeping track of carbon capture technology, which would be a regenerative approach of fixing our climate problem here on Earth. So climate change missions are on the horizon. Another big thing, Phil, early next year, is the first launch of the Artemis One mission. The Artemis One mission is the first NASA launch of the SLS, the Space Launch System, which is the largest launch vehicle anybody has ever built. It's going to launch next year, and it's uncrewed, so it doesn't have astronauts, but it's going to demonstrate the full end-to-end mission around the moon and return the capsule, the Orion capsule, which is built by Lockheed Martin, back to Earth. That's early in 2022, and that completely opens up the lunar economy as a focal point for investment in next year.
Wow, Leon, 2022 is going to be a really exciting year. Well, I just want to wish you a happy holidays and congrats on your successes in 2021.
Thank you, Phil. Happy New Year to everybody viewing this, and let's have another great year ahead, and lots of luck to the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, which is December 24th this year. It's a great mission for the world and for the United States, so looking forward to it.
Okay, thanks so much, Dan. Have a great